There is something powerful about attraction that most people never understand. It is not always about being the most beautiful person in the room. It is not always about having the perfect body. It is not about having the most money, the best clothes, or the most impressive words. Sometimes attraction begins before you even say a word. It begins with the way you carry yourself, the way you look at someone, the way you respond instead of reacting. And sometimes, the person who seems impossible to attract begins noticing you when you stop trying so hard to be noticed. Maybe you have experienced this before. You liked someone, you wanted them to notice you, so you tried harder, you texted more, you explained yourself, you gave more attention, you tried to make them understand how much you cared. But somehow, the more you tried to create attraction, the more distant they seemed. Then something changed. You stopped chasing, you became quieter. You focused on yourself, and suddenly they started looking at you differently. That moment teaches you something important. Attraction is not always created by doing more. Sometimes it is created by becoming more secure in who you already are. This message found you for a reason. Maybe you have been wondering why someone is attracted to you one day and distant the next. Maybe you have been confused by mixed signals. Maybe you have been giving someone your attention and receiving very little in return, or maybe you simply want to understand what creates genuine attraction between two people. Whatever brought you here, stay with me. Because the 6 secrets we are about to discuss can completely change the way you understand attraction, and the most powerful one is not the one you expect. Welcome to Healthy Relationships. If you want to understand love, attraction, communication, emotional connection, and the psychology behind healthy relationships, you are in the right place. Subscribe to Healthy Relationships and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss these messages. Now listen carefully. The first secret is emotional confidence. Not arrogance, not pretending you do not care, not acting cold. Emotional confidence means you are comfortable with yourself even when someone else is uncertain about you. This is incredibly attractive. Think about two people. One walks into a room and constantly looks around to see who is watching. They change their personality depending on who they are speaking to. They need approval, they become nervous when someone does not respond immediately. They take every delayed message personally. Now think about someone else. They walk into the same room calmly. They smile. They listen. They speak when they have something meaningful to say. They do not need everyone to like them. They do not panic when someone becomes distant. They do not beg for attention. There is something different about their energy. You can feel it. That difference is emotional confidence. And here is what most people do not realize. People are naturally drawn toward emotional stability. When someone feels secure within themselves, other people often feel safer around them. You do not have to perform. You do not have to prove that you are valuable. You simply become comfortable being yourself. That changes everything. Imagine someone you like suddenly takes hours to respond to your message. Without emotional confidence, your mind starts creating stories. Maybe they are losing interest. Maybe I said something wrong. Maybe they found someone else. Maybe I should send another message. Maybe I should ask what happened. And before you know it, one unanswered message has turned into an emotional crisis. But emotional confidence says something different. It says their response does not determine my worth. That does not mean you do not care. It means you care without losing yourself. And that difference is powerful. Because when you stop making another person's attention the measurement of your value, you become more grounded. You become less desperate for validation. You become more present. And people notice that, but this is where everything changes. Emotional confidence does not mean you should play games. It does not mean ignoring someone to make them chase you. It does not mean pretending you have no feelings. Healthy attraction is not manipulation. It is connection. The goal is not to make someone obsessed with you. The goal is to create a relationship where two people genuinely want to know each other. And that brings us to the second secret. The second secret is mystery, not dishonesty. Not hiding important parts of yourself. Mystery simply means you do not reveal everything about yourself immediately. You allow someone to discover you. Think about a good story. If you knew every detail in the first 5 minutes, you would probably lose interest. But when a story gives you something interesting and leaves a little unanswered, your mind wants to continue. Human curiosity works in a similar way. When you meet someone, you do not need to tell them your entire life story. You do not need to explain every past relationship. You do not need to reveal every insecurity. You do not need to make sure they know everything about you immediately. Let conversations develop naturally. Let them ask questions. Let them discover your personality over time. There is something attractive about having depth that cannot be understood in one conversation. Maybe you have a passion that they discover later. Maybe you have a thoughtful perspective they did not expect. Maybe you are quiet at first but become playful when you feel comfortable. Maybe you have goals that you are working toward. Those layers create curiosity, and curiosity creates the desire to know more. Most people make one major mistake when they like someone. They reveal too much too quickly. They want the other person to understand them immediately. They tell their entire emotional history. They explain every feeling. They constantly update the person about what they are doing. They become completely available. And without realizing it, there is nothing left to discover. Healthy attraction needs space, not emotional distance, space. There is a difference. You can be warm without being constantly available. You can be interested without making someone the center of your universe. You can communicate without reporting every detail of your life. This is not about making someone chase you. It is about continuing to live your own life while getting to know someone. That is important because attraction becomes healthier when two complete people meet each other, not two people trying to fill an emotional emptiness. And now we come to the third secret. This one is simple, but it can completely change the way someone experiences you. The third secret is genuine listening. Most people think attraction is about saying impressive things. It is not. Sometimes attraction grows because someone feels truly seen. Think about the last time someone listened to you without interrupting. They did not immediately give advice. They did not turn the conversation back toward themselves. They did not look at their phone. They simply listened. How did that make you feel? Probably important, probably respected, probably understood. That feeling creates emotional connection. An emotional connection can become a powerful foundation for attraction. When you listen carefully, you notice things other people miss. You remember small details. You notice changes in someone's voice. You understand what they are saying beneath the words. You ask questions because you are genuinely curious. That makes a person feel valued. But there is something even deeper. People often remember how you made them feel more than they remember exactly what you said. Someone may forget your perfect sentence. They may forget your clever joke. But they may remember that when they talked to you, they felt safe enough to be themselves. That matters. Imagine someone tells you about a dream they have had for years. Instead of immediately saying, "That sounds difficult," you ask, "What made you want to do that in the first place?" Suddenly, the conversation becomes deeper. You are not just hearing information, you are learning the person, and that creates connection. But do not fake this. People can often sense when someone is pretending to listen just to gain attraction. Real listening is not a technique, it is respect. If you genuinely want to know someone, listen because you want to understand them, not because you are trying to control the outcome. That difference matters. And here is where many people experience a breakthrough, when you stop thinking, "What should I say next to impress them?" and start thinking, "What can I understand about this person?" Your entire energy changes. You become more relaxed. You become more present, and conversations become natural. Now, the fourth secret is something that can create attraction without saying a single romantic word. The fourth secret is having your own life. This may sound simple, but it is one of the most powerful principles in healthy attraction. Your life should not begin when someone enters it. You should already have a life that matters to you. Your friendships, your goals, your work, your hobbies, your health. Your family, your faith, if faith is important to you, your personal growth, your quiet moments, your dreams. When someone sees that you have a meaningful life, they understand something important. You are not looking for someone to complete you. You are looking for someone to share life with. That creates a completely different kind of attraction. Think about someone who cancels everything whenever their romantic interest calls. Their friends disappear, their hobbies disappear. Their goals disappear, their entire emotional world becomes centered around one person. At first, that attention might feel flattering, but over time, it can become heavy. Now imagine someone who says, "I would love to see you, but I already have plans tonight. How about tomorrow?" That person is not playing hard to get. They simply have a life. There is a difference. Healthy boundaries communicate self-respect, and self-respect is attractive. You do not need to become unavailable. You simply need to remain connected to yourself, because the strongest attraction often happens when someone realizes that being with you is a choice, not a desperate need. But there is another side to this. Having your own life also protects your heart. If a relationship does not work, you still have yourself, you still have your purpose, you still have people who love you still have dreams worth pursuing, you still have a future. That is emotional strength. And emotional strength changes the way you love. Now, the fifth secret is one that many people misunderstand. The fifth secret is positive tension. And before you misunderstand what that means, let me explain. Positive tension is not emotional manipulation. It is not making someone jealous. It is not disappearing for days. It is not giving someone attention and then suddenly taking it away to make them anxious. Those things may create temporary obsession, but they do not create healthy attraction. Positive tension is created through playful challenge, differences, curiosity, and anticipation. For example, imagine two people talking. One says, "I think you are wrong about that." The other laughs and says, "Oh, really? Then convince me." Suddenly, there is energy in the conversation. There is playfulness. There is curiosity. There is a little challenge. That can make interactions more memorable. You do not always have to agree with someone. You do not have to pretend their every opinion is perfect. You can respectfully disagree. You can tease gently when appropriate. You can have your own perspective. You can laugh. You can create moments that feel alive. Attraction often needs emotional movement. If every conversation is predictable, formal, and completely safe, there may be comfort, but there may not be much excitement, and that is why healthy relationships need both security and playfulness. You want someone to feel emotionally safe with you, but you also want them to feel alive around you. That balance is powerful. Think about the people you naturally enjoy being around. They may make you laugh, they may challenge your thinking. They may surprise you, they may encourage you, they may have a different perspective, they may make ordinary moments feel interesting. That is positive tension. And the key is authenticity. Do not manufacture it. Do not become someone you are not. If you naturally have humor, use it. If you have strong opinions, express them respectfully. If you disagree, say so. If you are curious, ask questions. Let your personality breathe. And now we reach the sixth secret. This is the one that often separates temporary attraction from deep connection. The sixth secret is emotional warmth. You can be confident. You can have boundaries. You can have mystery. You can have your own life. You can be playful. But if you are emotionally cold, people may struggle to connect with you. Attraction needs warmth, a genuine smile, a kind response, eye contact, a thoughtful message, a sincere compliment, remembering something important, showing appreciation. These small things can carry enormous emotional weight. Imagine someone who looks at you when you speak. They smile naturally. They remember your story from last week. They ask how your important meeting went. They celebrate your small victories. They do not make you feel like you have to earn basic kindness. How would that make you feel? Probably valued. That is emotional warmth. And it is not weakness. Being warm does not mean having no boundaries. You can be kind and still say no. You can care and still walk away from disrespect. You can love someone and still protect your peace. You can be emotionally open without becoming emotionally dependent. That balance is what makes warmth powerful. Because people are not only attracted to how someone looks, they are attracted to how they feel when they are around that person. Do they feel judged? Do they feel ignored? Do they feel pressured? Or do they feel understood? Do they feel appreciated? Do they feel free to be themselves? Those experiences matter. Now let us put all six secrets together. Emotional confidence, mystery, genuine listening, having your own life, positive tension, emotional warmth, notice something interesting. None of these require you to become someone else. None of them require manipulation. None of them require you to chase. None of them require you to pretend you do not care. They require you to become more secure, more present, more authentic, and more emotionally mature. And that is where attraction becomes powerful, because when you stop asking, "How do I make this person want me?" you start asking a better question. Who am I becoming? That question changes everything. Maybe you have spent years trying to be enough for someone. Maybe you changed your appearance, changed your personality, changed the way you speak, changed your boundaries, accepted things you never should have accepted. You thought if you became perfect, they would finally choose you. But what if the real breakthrough is realizing that you were never supposed to convince someone of your worth? What if you were supposed to recognize it yourself? This is where everything changed for many people. They stopped chasing validation. They stopped begging for attention. They stopped interpreting every silence as rejection. They stopped making someone else's behavior the center of their emotional world. And they began building a life they were proud of. Their confidence changed, their conversations changed, their relationships changed, and sometimes the person who once overlooked them suddenly noticed the difference. But even then, something important happened. They no longer needed that person's attention. That is the real transformation, because when you stop needing someone to validate you, you can finally see them clearly. You can ask, do I actually like this person? Not, do they like me? Do I feel respected? Do I feel safe? Do our values match? Do they communicate honestly? Do they bring peace into my life? These questions protect you from confusing attraction with compatibility. Because someone can be extremely attractive to you and still be completely wrong for you. Chemistry is not character. Attention is not commitment. Desire is not love. And intense feelings do not automatically mean a healthy relationship. That is why attraction should never be the only goal. The goal is connection, respect, trust, consistency, communication, and two people choosing each other freely. So if you have been struggling with attraction, do not start by asking what is wrong with you. Start by looking inward. Are you comfortable with yourself? Do you have a life outside romance? Do you communicate honestly? Do you listen? Do you have boundaries? Can you show warmth without losing yourself? Can you accept rejection without believing that you are worthless? These questions can change your entire relationship life, and maybe right now, someone watching this needed to hear that. Maybe you have been rejected recently. Maybe someone you loved chose someone else. Maybe someone stopped replying. Maybe someone made you feel invisible. And you have been wondering, what did I do wrong? Please remember this. Someone's inability to recognize your value does not erase your value. You do not become less worthy because someone walked away. You do not become less beautiful because someone did not choose you. You do not become less lovable because one relationship ended. Sometimes rejection is painful because we attach our identity to the outcome, but you are more than one person's decision. You are more than one relationship. You are more than one chapter of your life, and sometimes what feels like rejection is actually redirection. You may not understand it today. But one day you may look back and realize that the relationship you desperately wanted was not the relationship you actually needed. And what happened next shocked everyone. You became stronger, you became calmer, you became more selective. You stopped chasing, you stopped accepting crumbs, you learned to recognize consistency, you learned that real love does not require you to constantly prove your worth, and you became someone who could walk away from anything that demanded you abandon yourself. That is a breakthrough. So if you are currently waiting for someone to notice you, take a breath. Do not force it. Do not manipulate it. Do not lose yourself trying to create it. Work on yourself, build your confidence, protect your peace, become curious about people, listen deeply. Keep your life full, stay warm, stay authentic, and let attraction develop naturally, because the right connection does not require you to become a stranger to yourself. It allows you to become more fully yourself. Before we finish, I want you to take a quiet moment. Think about the person you have been trying to attract. Now ask yourself one honest question. Am I trying to attract them because I genuinely want them or because I desperately want to feel chosen? That question may hurt, but it can also set you free, because you deserve a relationship where you are not constantly wondering where you stand. You deserve someone who communicates, someone who respects you, someone who values your presence, someone who does not make you beg for basic affection, someone who can meet you emotionally, and you deserve to become that kind of person too. Not perfect, just healthy. Now, if this message touched something inside you, take a moment and make a commitment to yourself. Say quietly, I will not abandon myself for attention. Say, I will not chase someone who constantly makes me question my worth. Say, I will become more confident, more peaceful, and more authentic. And if you believe that your next chapter can be healthier than your last one, type I receive it in the comments. If you are ready to choose yourself while remaining open to real love, write 777. And if you believe that the right connection will not require you to lose yourself, type Amen. Let your comment be a reminder to yourself, not a performance for anyone else. Now let us take a moment for a simple prayer. God, for every person listening right now, bring peace to the places where they have felt rejected. Heal the heart that has been questioning its worth. Help them stop chasing people who do not value them. Give them wisdom to recognize genuine love. Give them courage to set healthy boundaries. Give them confidence without arrogance. Give them warmth without weakness. Give them patience when the right relationship takes time. And when someone enters their life, help them recognize the difference between attention and true connection. Help them choose people who communicate honestly, people who respect them, people who encourage them, people who bring peace instead of constant confusion. And if someone is currently healing from rejection, remind them that their story is not over. What ended was not their worth. What failed was not their future. What they lost was not necessarily what they were meant to keep. Give them the strength to release what is not healthy. Give them the wisdom to recognize what is, and help them become the person they were always capable of becoming. Amen. If you felt something while listening to that prayer, type I receive it. If you are believing for healthier love, write 777. And if this message spoke directly to your heart, type Amen. You never know who may read your comment and realize they are not alone. And before you leave, remember the 6 secrets: confidence, mystery, listening, your own life, pause, tension, and emotional warmth. You do not need to master all 6 overnight. Start with 1. Maybe today you stop chasing. Maybe today you listen more deeply. Maybe today you stop over-explaining yourself. Maybe today you return your attention to your own goals. Maybe today you remember that value does not rise and fall with someone's attention. That is where real change begins, not with manipulation, not with games, not with pretending, with self-respect. And perhaps the most attractive thing you can ever become is not someone who makes everyone want you. It is someone who knows what they deserve and refuses to betray themselves just to be wanted. So I want to leave you with one final question. If you knew with complete certainty that you were already worthy of love, respect, and genuine connection, what would you stop doing today? Would you stop chasing? Would you stop overthinking every message? Would you stop trying to prove yourself? Would you stop accepting inconsistent attention? Or would you finally give yourself permission to become the person you have been waiting for someone else to recognize? Think about that and tell me your answer in the comments. If this video helped you, like the video so more people can find this message. Skewer to healthy relationships and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss these messages. And remember this: you do not have to chase genuine connection. You do not have to beg for respect. You do not have to become someone else to be worthy of love. The right